Welcome to QWERTY Writing Life podcast, where we have candid chats about our creative lives. This is May.
And I'm Joy.
For more information about our podcast, monthly newsletter, or author resource series, visit us at QWERTYWritingLife.com. That's QWERTY, spelled QWERTY.
It's the first 6 letters on your keyboard.
So, are you ready? Grab your tea.
Or your coffee, and let's chat.
Hello, everyone. It's another week.
Hello and welcome.
And today we are going to reflect on season 4 of QWERTY Writing Life. But before we do that, let's talk about our creative weeks. Joy, what did you do?
Well, I have been editing big time. So lots and lots of edits going on, both second round for One Good Thing, my own work, but also I've got a couple of clients. So I'm starting one of those now. The next one is right around the corner in June. So 2 fantasy novels, actually, which is really exciting. I do love fantasy. So that is a lot of fun. I love to edit. I love the red pen. If y'all have listened at all, you know that. I'm a weirdo and a nerd. And as my client said, I grammar. He doesn't grammar so good. I grammar. I grammar good. So there we go. And then also I've been, I got some good news this week. I will be heading to Chicago in June for the American Library Association conference. I'll be going there for one of the days, and I'll get to meet with some of the other Indie Author Project winners that evening, which I'm pretty stoked about. So yes, and you can tell, like, if you can see May's face, I haven't told her this yet, so this is brand new information. This is genuine shock.
It's not necessarily shock, but more of just like, you didn't tell me. Maybe a little, it's good surprise. It's good surprise. Oh my gosh, you're going to Chicago. Is it just you, or are you taking Tony, or like what's?
It's just me. It fell on the same weekend that my in-laws are going to be out of town and expect us to watch their demon dog. So,
oh, no.
My husband gets stuck with a demon dog. Well, I get to go to Chicago.
Go to Chicago.
Yes.
That is awesome.
So I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not a city girl. I don't do cities, and it's intimidating, but I'm very excited. So I've been thinking through the creative aspect of this, is thinking through how to really maximize this experience and this opportunity. I'll be there alongside a ton of librarians, which is huge. That's a group that I have been intentional in trying to reach, because they are right there with the readers. So, and plus I love libraries. So there's all of that. But then also getting to meet with the other indie authors, like how can I, what can I do? What can I bring to the table? What can I, and I guess in some ways, how can I set myself apart? Not trying to like look better than anyone, not like that, but in a way where
you want to be noticed.
Yeah, and like certain people.
This is a big opportunity.
Yeah. Like I want people to remember me positively. Like I want to bring something to the table. Offer some addition to the conversation, which I think is what we always strive to do on the podcast, and I think that we strive to do that as creatives as well, just in what we're putting into the world. We want to add to that literary conversation specifically for authors. So thinking through all of those things. So it's taking me on some creative journeys along the way.
Oh, I love that so much. I love it so much. Yay! Good job, Joy.
So exciting.
I mean, you have to say things like, I knew her before she was famous, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Not so much.
Before.
We're not there yet.
Before she was cool.
I will never be cool. Like, that's just not even a possibility.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen. I like you just the way you are.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Well, tell us about your creative week.
Well, this is the first week that I've actually felt really good. So I've had some surgeries and things that have been going on health-wise and everything. And so this week I'm just like, oh, I have like some energy, and I have like my I physically feel good and that sort of thing. Like there's still other stuff going on, but it's like, oh, I physically feel good. And I don't think you know, like I don't think you realize how taxing mentally a physical, like a consistent physical pain is until you have some relief from it. Maybe I know, like I don't know if that's like a really great description of that, but like, and it could happen again. I'm trying to be preventative in those ways, but right now I'm just really soaking in the experience of being pain free in that area. So that's happening. And then I've been thinking and loving on my water novel book, and I wrote a short draft of the prologue and the epilogue of that this week as well. So it's really coming to fruition in good ways. And I also played around on Midjourney, which is the AI image program. And it was very interesting. It was a new experience, a very strange experience. The more that I used it, the better I got at it, but I'm still not great at it. And it was just very surreal in a way because it really did feel very science fiction. And it's right now here in our present. So
it's such a trippy thing, man. It's like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. And what was really not creepy, but what was really surprising for me was I put in a description of my imaginary island, and it came out almost exactly the way that it was in my head. And it was like, oh, this is strange.
Spooky.
Right. It was a little more crowded than it was in my head, but as far as like the placement of things and the look of particular things, it was very, very similar. So yeah. I'm testing things out. I don't like to make really big, steadfast decisions on how I feel about things without having some practical experience with them. And um, so I don't know exactly how I feel about all of the AI stuff and everything right now, but I promise that if I ever do share an opinion about it, that it will be because I have researched and have used it in a way, in an author type way. So
that's good. I'm glad that you're doing it because I'm too scared to. I get to learn from you, my friend.
Right, yeah. That's so fun. I don't mind that at all.
Oh, goodness. Well, I am pretty excited that we have actually put out now 4 entire seasons of QWERTY Writing Life. Like, can you believe that it's been 4 seasons?
Oh, you know what that means? That we've been doing this for 4 years because we've scheduled our seasons to be like years.
Yeah. We feel the years, guys. Can you tell?
This is not The Voice, y'all. We're not doing like 2 seasons in a year. But I love The Voice. But, Reba's coming on The Voice. Have you heard that? She's going to take Blake. Yeah, she's going to take Blake Shelton's judging chair or something like that.
I love Reba.
So, I mean, I feel as if this is going to be a good thing. Enjoyed Blake very much, but now we have Reba.
Oh,
anyway, that's a side note. Yeah, so 4 full years of doing this. So that was 2019 when we started the podcast.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And what has happened since then?
So many things. Wow. I mean, good night, a pandemic.
Yeah, right? The robots are going to get us. Like,
right?
There's so many good things too. Like those are just the things that kind of stick out. Like, but Yeah, there's been a lot of good things too. We've published books. We've published books together. We've dreamed a lot of dreams and seen some of them come to fruition. We've spoken to thousands and thousands of people over 4 years.
Which is insane to think about.
It is insane to think about. Joy's won awards. There's so much. We've done book signings and readings, and God, like this is kind of like speaking of surreal. Like
yeah,
like speaking of surreal, like this is a little surreal too when we think about all of the things that we've done in the last 4 years.
and we've done all of that within the challenges of many other life responsibilities.
Right. Exactly. Yes, that is true.
And through valleys and mountains in our own personal lives. So it's really kind of, yeah, when you think about all of that together, it's just, it's overwhelming, I think, for me anyway, to think about just all that the 4 years have held. It's interesting.
Yeah. It's extremely interesting.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So
Yeah.
season 5.
Yeah, we're going to have one.
Oh, I was going to keep them in suspense.
Oh, sorry.
I probably shouldn't have said season 5 if I was going to try to keep them in suspense. I should have been like, so. It's been a good run.
And we'll go into more detail and stuff about the podcast specifically. But yeah, it is kind of interesting to just think back over the last 4 years and just be like, wow, 2019, 2020, 21, 22. And there are just things like when you say 2020, like there are things that just come up in your mind immediately that changed your life, complete 180 in some cases for things that we've been doing and how we've been doing them and everything. So it is just super interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody should do that. Everybody should just like take a moment and just be like, 4 years. Like, what has happened in 4 years? And tell me if you don't feel the same way. So
exactly. And I just want to throw in there and commend all creatives who are continuing to create at this point, because and this is not something that, like, I don't have scientific proof of this. I haven't had a lot of discussions about this, but I feel like many people after the pandemic really hit a moment of, am I continuing or not? I think that whole situation in our world was kind of a defining moment for most people, if not all people. And I feel like creatives, especially in some ways. So if you are a creative who is continuing to create, or if you happen to be one of those who actually got started during that time period, because there are a lot of those as well. Like, how incredible is that? Like, take a moment to celebrate that, because I feel like either both of those things is huge.
Right. Kudos to you, because it's hard. We know.
Yeah.
Ask us how we know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, goodness. So, as we did last year, we have decided that we will go on hiatus again. So the hiatus ended up being a really good decision, I feel like, for us personally. It was good to have those few months during the summer, just to work on some of our own stuff, as well as have a little bit of extra time with the family and all of those things. So our plan is to be back with a new episode for you guys to come out on September 5th. So that would be the first Tuesday in the month of September, and that is typically when our episodes drop.
Yeah, that's going to be fun because we've already started thinking about excellent topics to talk about for our season 5, and they're actually really good. I'm excited to talk about them. We haven't gotten all of them all laid out, but I feel like we probably have a good 10 or 12 that we're like, yeah, this is going to be great. Yeah. So,
so we have already started that brainstorming, which is pretty exciting.
And we're not going to be completely silent during the hiatus. So there are going to be ways that you can get in contact with us and continue the conversation. If you have any questions about creative topics, or if there's something that we've talked about that you need a little more clarification for, we are going to be available to you. So If you have something that's super new and you just want to see what we think about it, yeah, that's going to be fun. Email us. Okay. So that's the first way that you can get in contact with us, is to email us at QWERTYWritingLife@gmail.com. Okay. So that's one way. Another way we can kind of spur the conversation is our newsletter. So we have a newsletter that goes out all through the year. So, and it's once a month, all through the year. It's not just the hiatus. And we have inspirational notes. We have extra challenges in there, and you're also able to just hit reply on that email, and you are able to get to us. So if you want a little bit more QWERTY during the hiatus and throughout the year, sign up for our newsletter, because we'd love to hear from you, and hopefully you'd love to hear from us too. And finally, we are on social media. So we have Instagram and Facebook, and we are QWERTY Writing Life. That's our handles on both of those. And we check our DMs, we read our comments, we post weird things. And, so if you want to see what we're doing there, or if that's the easiest way for you to get in contact with us, then that's how you can do it.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing all of those things. And we really would love to chat with you guys. Like, we want to know what's going on in your lives. You know, we like to share in our candid chats, share what we're working on and stuff like that. But we really would love to know what you're working on. We'd love to just chat, but also if you have questions, if you have thoughts, like May said, you want to brainstorm with somebody, we love to brainstorm. So we are here.
Absolutely. And in that vein too, Joy and I are thinking about an extra possibility that we might incorporate into our season 5. So this is not like a for sure thing, but this is something that we were thinking about. And we'd love to hear your opinion on it in any of those ways that we just discussed above. And that would be to highlight our individual creative projects and your own individual creative projects by having live creative work sessions where you can join in during the season 5 podcast. Really put our creative time, make it a priority in the calendar by doing things like that. That's a thought. We're not 100% on that. So if you have a yes or a no or a maybe or something like that, if you have thoughts of ways to do that as well, like the best ways to do that, please email us, DM us, Facebook, Instagram, emails, newsletters, however you want to do it.
Yeah, and it would be really great for us to get that feedback from you guys, because, you know, if this is something that excites you, that you would want to be part of, like, we're so all about that. But if it's not something, like, even letting us know that, like, maybe you do it already with another group, or maybe it's just not something you're interested in. We want that feedback as well. You know, getting to know what you guys would really like. You know, if there is something that we could do that's a little bit more interactive and hands-on to get you guys involved with us, we would love to do that. So if you have other thoughts, other ideas, suggestions, we're open to those as well. This was just one that, in our conversation about what is season 5 going to look like, we had discussed us working on our individual creative projects. Like, season 4 was all about a project that we did together with our workbook. And so we were thinking through, well, what if we work on our creative things individually? And then that kind of led to this, you know, actual work sessions, and then bringing you guys into that, just to make it more of a community, which has always, I think, been part of our goal. So let us know. Let us know what you guys are thinking, what you're feeling, what you're wanting.
And if there is something that is missing in your creative online experience, then please let us know that too. And we can definitely consider other things that maybe we haven't brainstormed. We might not be able to do all of the suggestions that are turned into us, but we could definitely see what we can incorporate in season 5, and then also see how we can help serve you past season 5 as well.
Yeah, definitely. And now I would love for us to just kind of take a moment to celebrate. We did this a little bit in the last episode. We have some updated numbers for you, but and we hope that this is something that you will do too in your own creative lives, is just take a moment to celebrate the details. So we have completed a 4th season.
Woohoo!
Confetti. I wish I had, I don't like confetti. It's messy.
So much to pick up.
I know, right? I like the
They do have
idea.
they have biodegradable confetti now, though. It's a little
Oh.
more expensive, but it's biodegradable, and you don't have to pick it.
Well, but if you're in your house, there is
Fair,
that. Yeah.
fair.
Anyway, okay. So, 4 seasons. What?
Yeah, 4 years.
And then this
Crazy.
episode marks 153 episodes, which feels like a lot.
It does. It feels like 153 triumphs to me.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully we're adding to the conversation. That's always the goal. You know, no, we're not going to say come up with something completely brand new that no one's ever talked about before, because that can't happen. But hopefully we're adding to that conversation, and that's
Right.
that's where we live. So
Yeah, that is absolutely the goal. And also, like, to just acknowledge some hard things too. We do focus a lot on that candid part of the conversations in our chats. And so I'm really proud of that as well. Like, when we mess up, we say it. And when we do things well, we say it. And then, what our truth is at the time is we share that as well. So, yeah.
So, and then I just checked on the numbers, and we're at 15,500 downloads lifetime, all 4 seasons, which, wow.
That feels big too.
That is a very large number, which is exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And
how many strangers have heard our voices?
I know, that is a little weird. So don't be a stranger. Like, that's why we want you to message us. We want to know who you are.
Yeah, we love the conversation and the back and forth. That makes it all feel a little bit more worthwhile too. So if you're listening and you're downloading, thank you so very much. And if you feel compelled, please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, we would love it. And we'll respond, I promise. And so another thing that we need to celebrate this season is we completed a first draft and a revision of our workbook. So we are super close to, getting that out into the world, which was a huge goal for this year. And wow,
we're in the final stages of that.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy too. And not only that, it wasn't a simple workbook. Like, we added and enhanced and breathed new life into it. And I think that it feels like a bigger project than when you say companion workbook because of that. For me, it does.
Yeah. And it also enabled us an opportunity to revisit our fundamental standards and to really put into practice kind of what we've been preaching about the fundamental standards. So, if you guys have followed us for a while, that is another book that's, hopefully coming in the future. But this really gave us an opportunity to work that through, to work our theories through, to work our beliefs through when it comes to what fundamental standards are and how they can help creatives. So, yeah, this was kind of a multifaceted project that we didn't even realize it was going to be when we got started.
Yeah. And we also have a list of other projects that we want to complete. So we have short-term and long-term goals now that we didn't have at the beginning of the season. So we reworked our fundamental standards, and then we put everything that we ever dreamed about doing in a list. And then we highlighted the ones that fit our season in life. That's something that we thought that we could accomplish in a podcast season as well, because we wanted to share it with you guys. So now we have all of that in order. We have it in shareable files, and we are able to use that in the future beyond season 4 podcast. So that's cool too.
Definitely. And working on this workbook did bring up some other content ideas and workshop ideas and so many other things that goes along with this. So, it's just constantly building more and more things and ideas and all of that, which is exciting.
And I do think that because we both have outside responsibilities beyond our creative aspirations, it did take us a little bit longer to document all of those ideas and kind of the the details that we could come up with quickly around it, but I feel as if it's going to serve us super well in the future. So it took us a little bit longer to do that as well, but we'll have to get back with you to let you know if it's going to be worth it.
Well, it's
I'm
almost
feeling
like
good vibes about it, though.
yeah, like we're building more foundations for other things in the future, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a lot of foundation building in multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, especially in places where we could expand upon with real life people, you know, expand upon the whole critique partner concept and preparation and implementation and all of that stuff. So yeah. Good stuff there.
Yay. All
there
right,
were also some really cool revelations, I think, that happened. So we've got some light bulb moments, as we call them. And one of my favorite light bulb moments was in episode 7. It was Artist as a Work in Progress. And sometimes I forget to consider myself a work in progress. And it's like, oh, I'm an adult now. I'm supposed to be fully formed, right? So, well, and that's kind of what we're maybe taught a little bit, maybe not with the actual words, but that's what we assume as children, you know, like that when we become adults, we
will have then arrived or something, and we will know all the things,
we will have
and we will be whatever, which is a bunch of
all the things that we wanted to be, which is so wrong, by the way. That is a lie. So sometimes I forget to think of myself creatively as a work in progress, as well as just like a human being as a work in progress, even though I am getting older in years. So, and episode 7 reminded me of that, and that I am always growing, that I'm always evolving personally, professionally, creatively, spiritually, physically, all of the things, all of the leaves.
Yes, all the leaves.
Right. And also that I've been hit with some setbacks, and that I've faced before, and knowing that I have done them before, and that it's not necessarily a failure, that I've overcome this obstacle before, and being able to document that I've recognized it, that I have overcome it a little bit faster than the last time I encountered it. I feel like that is another way of acknowledging you progressing in healthy ways, as well. So, yeah, all the light bulbs this season.
That's a great one. Yeah. So I think overall, one of the things that just popped out to me was the reminder that we're always going to question our abilities to handle something. I think, especially creatively. I mean, I think we do this in life in general too, but can I really do this? You know, can I really write a book again? You know, doesn't matter how many times you've done it. I feel like that's always going to be a question. But the thing is, we always do. And so it's kind of this crazy cycle. It's this, yeah, I actually did it. And then you circle back to, oh, can I do it again? I don't know. It's this really funny cycle.
Was that a fluke?
Yes. It may have been a fluke. Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to having Go Introspect Yourself on a t-shirt. So can I just put that out into the world, that I really want that to happen?
Yes, absolutely. I'm thrilled about the graphics that we made, and like being able to have that little bit of a break to make those together. That was lots of fun. And just the fun that I needed at just the right time. So
yeah,
I love making anything. So like the thought of a store that's filled with a whole bunch of QWERTY stuff, just it brings joy to my soul. So
yeah, same here.
Right.
I think the one episode, or I guess it was a couple of episodes, that really like stood out to me over the season was when we talked about sitting versus steeping. And I feel like that was a really good way to see that and to picture that, because I do have a tendency to procrastinate by doing things, and we don't want to do that, but there really genuinely are times when we need to sit and steep. and actually just let things marinate, let things, I'm mixing my metaphors, sorry, May. Let that tea get to the right strength that it needs to be. And so that was just a really great epiphany, I feel like, a light bulb for me this season.
Yeah, that one relieved a bit of guilt for me as well, because when we were talking it through and when we presented it to you guys, it really kind of felt like, you're not always procrastinating. Yeah, sometimes you are procrastinating, but you're not always procrastinating. And there are times though there have been what I thought was procrastination, and there would be a really great idea that came for a particular story or creative project or something like that. So I would be able to bring those ideas to fruition later. But it was because I unconsciously took the time to sit and steep on it.
Yeah. And there have been times like that, in fact, that I've noticed in my own personal creative projects recently, where I've been able to look back and say, oh, I was actually steeping, and I didn't even realize it. And certain aspects of certain stories are deeper because of that time of steeping, and they wouldn't have gotten to that point without it. So
I think particularly about your short story collection. I feel like your short story collection is so strong, and I know that it didn't come out like the time that you wanted it to come out, but I do think that it benefited so much from stretching that out a little bit, and each story got just better and better and better because there was just more time to deepen it and to love on it and to edit.
So. Yeah, definitely, and I feel the same way with the epistolary. I say it wrong every time. Whatever.
I call it an epistolary. Is that not what it's called? Epistolary.
Epistolary. Oh no, I don't know now. I'm gonna have to look it up again.
I've been saying it wrong, guys. Sorry.
Epistolary.
A pistol, like you shoot it. You epistolary.
I know. I have to do stuff like that too. Anyway, like I'm working on that now, and it's definitely like there are things in it that I couldn't have written into it a year or two ago. So, yeah, steeping is good, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, agree.
So I think we're ready for try it. Maybe that's another challenge. We hadn't even planned on that being a challenge, but hey, why not?
It was a challenge in the episode, but it's just a little reminder challenge. So, but yeah. Is there anything else you would like to say about season 4?
It's been real, y'all.
Deuces.
Peace out. May is going to edit me later.
Oh, no, that's staying in there. That's awesome.
Oh, well.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let's give a QWERTY challenge before things get too weird.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Do you want me to do it or do you want to do it?
Go for it.
Okay, sure. All right, everybody. Depending on your season in life, is this a time where you can also redirect your creative efforts and either refresh your desire to continue on your current path, or maybe this is a good time for you to take a breath, just like we need to take a breath after season 4. So just think about it, evaluate your life, introspect yourself, and see where all the good things are, and where you need to rest if you need to rest. So,
absolutely. Well said. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
So, and please, I'm going to add to that challenge and say, hey, reach out to us like we talked about at the beginning of the episode. We would love to chat with you guys over the summer, and hiatus doesn't mean that we're not here. We are, and we want to chat.
Right, and this is a really great opportunity to be able to build those one-on-one relationships with Joy and I. So do it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to stop begging for friends. And
you guys have a great week.
yes, and go make something.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope this episode encouraged you. Like all creatives, we thrive on consumer recommendations. So, please consider leaving us a review and sharing our podcast with your creative friends.
If you'd like to continue this conversation, visit us on our website at QWERTYWritingLife.com or on Instagram at QWERTY Writing Life.